Tickle Me Elmo is a plush Elmo doll that giggles and says, "That tickles," or "Oh boy," or the two together when his belly is squeezed once. Two tickles makes him laugh a bit harder and say one of the two phrases. Three squeezes in a row sends him into a laughing, shaking frenzy, and he will repeat this action 3 times if his belly is squeezed again within 5 seconds. Otherwise, he will reset himself to states 1, 2, and 3 respectively. Tickle Me Elmo was produced by Tyco in 1996. It quickly became that year's hottest toy, and the hardest to find toy since the Cabbage Patch Kids craze in 1983. In July of 1996, the Tyco marketing team sent a Tickle Me Elmo doll to a daytime talk show host, Rosie O'Donnell, for her 1-year-old son, and another $200 to the show's producer. In one Rosie episode in October, O'Donnell used the toys in a stunt based on Groucho Marx's You Bet Your Life program. Whenever a guest would say the word wall, she threw a doll out into the audience. Sesame Workshop says that O'Donnell's show had a, quote, early hand in launching the Tickle Me Elmo sensation. One source claims that the sale of the toy jumped after the promotion on Rosie, and jumped again in November when Bryant Gumbel held a Tickle Me Elmo toy throughout most of a Today Show episode. On Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving and the start of Christmas shopping season, Tickle Me Elmo sold out of stores around the country within 2 hours. Tyco, which had originally expected to sell 400,000 Tickle Me Elmos, couldn't keep up with the demand, even though they continued to ship new products from their factories in Asia throughout the Christmas season. The company reportedly sold over 1 million Tickle Me Elmo dolls by Christmas, and over 5 million between 1996 and 1997. News reports of trampled store clerks and fights erupting over the last doll in the store were not uncommon. Disappointed shoppers became even more disgruntled when the New York Daily News reported that John Gotti Jr., son of the reputed mob boss, had purchased a case of Tickle Me Elmos at a Toys R Us store in Queens, New York, weeks after the store had sold out of them. Corporate officials stated that Gotti, quote, was just fortunate enough to be in the right place at the right time, and that he was afforded no special treatment. Whether he was actually just very lucky or his status gave him a special privilege with the employees of Toys R Us, it's doubtful we will ever know. A black market quickly sprang up in classified ads and on the internet, and there were reports of parents spending hundreds of dollars on a toy, which originally retailed at $29.99. A manufacturing company by the name of Cartier even put a Tickle Me Elmo draped with a diamond necklace and bracelet worth $1 million in the window of their flagship store on 5th Avenue in New York City. The doll was offered as a free gift with the purchase of the necklace and bracelet. Although Elmo had been gaining prominence and popularity on Sesame Street since Kevin Clash took over the character in 1984, it was the publicity from the Tickle Me Elmo craze that gave the character his biggest exposure and helped him skyrocket into even greater fame. The toy was invented by Ron Dubrin, who came up with it, seeing 2 kids tickle each other helplessly. He thought of how he could translate the silliness into a toy. He and his assistant created Tickles the Chimp from a toy monkey, which did nothing but laugh. 12 companies turned it down until Tyco realized its potential and tested the toys in front of a few adults. The reaction showed that they would have to make the toy somewhat better, and they took a motor now used today to make cell phones vibrate and created Tickle Me Elmo. So, what caused Tickle Me Elmo to become so popular? Well, at first I theorized that it was like mass hysteria but for a literal children's toy. This is perhaps partially correct, but it goes deeper. You see, Sesame Street was incredibly popular back then, and for the time this feature of Elmo seemingly being able to react to being tickled was unheard of. This combination of an extremely popular character and a sort of wow factor gimmick caused consumers to go crazy. And on top of that, it was marketed to high hell. I think the fact that it was sold out frequently only led to more people wanting to get their hands on it, most likely because it made it feel like a rare and highly sought after item, which it was. People wanted Elmo so much that multiple people were gravely injured and hospitalized due to the Elmo frenzy. And if you ask me, that's a perfect way to describe all of this. A frenzy. It was a fad to the most extreme extent, and caused many people to be arrested, hospitalized, and most likely traumatized, all over a small stuffed Elmo doll who laughed when tickled. That's going to do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you think of Tickle Me Elmo in the comments, and as always, have a good day.